Daniel never believed in the supernatural. He believed in logic, in explanations, in control. Until the night he tried to prove he wasn't alone. And something answered back. Since then, every night, at exactly 3:17 a.m., 3 slow knocks echo through his room, and he lives alone. The divorce didn't end with screaming. It ended with silence. His wife looked at him and said she felt nothing anymore. No anger, no love, nothing. And somehow, that was worse. Daniel couldn't accept it. He couldn't accept that someone could simply disconnect. In the weeks that followed, he stopped sleeping. Night after night, he sat in front of his computer, searching, scrolling, looking for something that could explain it. Or maybe undo it. He began reading strange things online. Stories, experiments, people claiming that reflections could reveal things we normally can't see. At first he laughed. It sounded ridiculous. But the deeper he went, the more serious the stories became. Buried in an old forum thread, he found something unusual. They didn't call it a ritual. They called it a perception experiment. The instructions were simple. Turn off all the lights. Stay completely alone. Look directly into your reflection. Say the name of the person you want to reach. Then wait. Daniel laughed, but he tried it anyway. Nothing happened. At least, that's what he thought. A week later, he moved into a small apartment across the city. The first week was peaceful, quiet, exactly what he needed, until the 7th night. 3:17 a.m., Daniel woke up. No sound, no reason, just awake. Then he heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow knocks. He didn't move. It was too early for anyone to be at the door. The next morning, he checked the security camera. No one was there. The second night, it happened again. 3:17 a.m., knock, knock, knock. Closer this time, not from the door, from inside the apartment. On the third night, Daniel stayed awake, watching the clock. 3:16, silence. 3:17, knock, knock, knock. But this time, the sound came from the bedroom, from the mirror. Daniel installed a camera in the room. The next night, he forced himself to sleep. He needed proof. The next morning, he checked the footage. At exactly 3:17 a.m., something moved. Daniel was asleep in bed, but his reflection wasn't. The reflection was standing, facing the camera, perfectly still, not blinking, not breathing, just watching. Daniel went back to the forum. This time, he kept reading, scrolling through old replies, old warnings. Then he found a message buried deep in the thread. If your reflection responds after the experiment ends, it means the door stayed open. Door. Daniel had never thought about it like that, but it made sense. He asked for something to answer, and something did. It just wasn't who he called. On the 5th night, Daniel didn't run. He stood in front of the mirror, waiting. 3:16 a.m. The air felt heavy, like the room was holding its breath. Then the clock changed. 3:17. Knock, knock, knock. But this time, the sound came from inside the glass. His reflection smiled. Daniel didn't. Slowly, the reflection raised its hand and knocked back from the other side. The mirror began to crack, thin lines spreading across the surface. Daniel touched the glass and felt something touch him back. Cold, damp, pressing against his fingers. He pulled his hand away, but it was too late. The cracks spread wider, and for just a second, the reflection blinked, but Daniel didn't. The next morning, the apartment was empty. No signs of struggle, no broken doors, no forced entry. Daniel had disappeared. Only the mirror remained, perfectly intact. The new tenant says the room feels strange. Sometimes he wakes up, exactly at 3:17 a.m., and he feels as if someone is on the other side, watching, waiting, hopeful that someone tries the experiment again. Because some doors do not make noise when they open, but they always knock when someone wants to come back or when they want to leave.